Oh, hello, and welcome. It's been a minute, right? In the car with Star is back and back in a big way. Um, Good to be with you. Good to be with you. Listen, I want to start by, I suppose, apologizing for fishing and cutting bait when it comes to in the car with Star. And that's so fine. I'm not going to pull any punches. It's a hard thing to do, and every now and again, I find myself struggling to stay positive with what I do in this space, trying to do something, on my own. When, for the most part, for pretty much all of my broadcasting career, right, I've always worked with someone. I've always kind of been the second, third chair, especially early on in my career, and it took me a long time in my broadcasting career to grow into a role where I feel comfortable being out there, being monologue, being editorial, being confident with my point of view, being confident in my opinions, being confident in my ability to deliver these opinions in a fun, engaging, captivating way. And there are times, certainly when I was doing In the Car with Star over the last year and a half, off and on, where I would I'd look at my YouTube numbers, I'd look at my Facebook numbers, I'd look at my engagement online, and I'd get down on myself because I'd be like, man, the numbers, they're really not there. And, I know people listen to the show every day with me and Connor, and thank you for that. And every now and again, certainly when I was doing In the Car with Star on the regular, and I'd be like, man, I'm getting hardly any views whatsoever. And then, I'd be that kind of neighbor that looks over on the other side of the fence and sees the grass being so much greener. And it's like, what are they doing? What's their magic recipe? How do they do this? So I would see other accounts that follow the Canadians, or um, give perspective and takes on what they see in the National Football League, for example, and they do great numbers. And I'm like, I believe in myself. Like, I believe in what I do. I believe in what I say, and NFL picks or other picks that I make publicly. I've been doing kind of well in the National Football League, very profitable, something like 21-5. In my last 26 picks against the spread, and the attention for whatever reason isn't there to the level that I would like it to be. So I'm being very honest and being very open and being very transparent. I would get insecure and would think like, oh man, I'm not doing a good job. I'm not doing a good enough job. And I blame myself ideally, because what am I doing? It's me talking to you, right? Like, I'm in my kitchen. I'm not even in my car. Like, I took a second to bring my golf bag out. I play golf with this bag every day all summer long. It's a big Titleist staff bag. And I'm like, oh, let me create some sort of background or whatever. My dog's chilling on the couch watching me do this, speaking into basically a void, but ultimately I'm here and I'm happy to do it because I do love it. I do love doing this. I love sharing my opinion. I enjoy very much engaging, debating with the Canadians fan, the sports fan in Montreal and from abroad, And I love talking about the Canadians. It's my boyhood team. It's the team that I have cheered for the longest, the hardest. It's the one team in sports today that really has my attention and has me emotionally, because, like I said, it's my boyhood team. I got that from my dad. And I've got lots of opinions and I have lots of thoughts on the Montreal Canadiens. And I want to kind of get back into it. And so thank you for listening to me and being here and joining me once again on the In the Car with Star. I promise to really never blow smoke up your ass. I promise to really not turn this into a gigantic infomercial. I mean, ideally, it would be nice to collect a few pennies off this, but this isn't, I'm not doing this to make money or to get to retirement a little bit earlier, because I am one of those guys. I turned 46 in early October, and I am one of those guys. I could see myself retiring one day, heaven forbid I learn how to play even more golf. So welcome to In the Car with Star. I got that out of the way. and I'm happy to be back. And I see some of my faithful people are still here. Steph Howard, good morning. Welcome back. And this is where shit. You see, I can't see. Welcome back. I still got to work, but I will listen later. Thank you, Steph. Steph's always been there, OG since day one. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Sean Starr. I've been in the Montreal media space with TSN 690. Before that, with CJAD for about a year. But all in all, I got hired in Montreal media in radio in September of 1999. And I have held a paycheck and held a steady job all the way up until today. So I'm one of the fortunate few ones that have been able to say that in Montreal in what is a very hostile and unforgiving profession. And I love talking about sports. I eat and breathe sports still to this day. I like to tell people, when they find out, I guess, kind of what I do for a living, they're like, oh, wow, it's so cool. And I'm like, it really is cool. It really is cool. It's a great job. And I get to engage with listeners. I get to engage with fans, and we all started from the same spot. Like, I grew up a Canadiens fan with my parents. You probably grew up a Canadiens fan with your parents, and as we were traveling on the same path, I took a left, you took a right, and now here we are. Still with that common theme of talking about and supporting, and every now and again being aggravated by the Montreal Canadiens. And so with that, let's talk about where we are today. The Montreal Canadiens coming off a 3-1 loss at Pittsburgh on Saturday night. It's the Canadiens' second losing streak of the season. They were 4-game losers earlier on. Now they're on their second longest losing streak of the year, going into their home game with Calgary on Tuesday night. The Canadiens find themselves back in the traditional Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday format. They play at home against Calgary. Then they're in New Jersey on Thursday before traveling to Toronto to play the Leafs on Saturday. So that's kind of where the Habs schedule is this week in the aftermath of that 3-1 loss. And what was, again, a very interesting way to lose a hockey game. And I think I have more questions than I do answers around this team today. I don't know why the Montreal Canadiens don't have enough pace, don't have enough jam, don't have enough engagement to start hockey games. And it's confusing to me because when I look at the leaders of this very young hockey team, Cole Caulfield, tied for the NHL lead after 11 games with 10 goals. Nick Suzuki, point-a-game player. He's got 4 goals, second on the team in goals. Brendan Gallagher's got 4 goals. Alex Newhook has 2. Yoel Armia has 1. Christian Dvorak got his first of the season when he scored on Saturday night. It's obvious the depth scoring is a massive problem because the depth scoring really isn't there. When I watch the Canadiens' number one line, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, and whoever it happens to be, right? Because Juraj Slafkovsky, I'll get into that in a second, gets hurt Saturday night. He didn't even start the game on the number one line. That job went to Josh Anderson. Before that, it was Emil Heineman. In between, it was Kirby Dach. It's hard to establish chemistry when the third prong of your line is a different name almost every night. And I think that's also problematic as we talk about the lack of defensive structure around the Canadiens through the first 11 games. They are a defensive train wreck. Have you noticed how many odd man rushes the team gives away? But I think I've done a good job now of conditioning myself to believe that wins and losses don't matter as much as the process in every game does. Right? Like if the Canadiens lost to Pittsburgh 3-1 Saturday night, but they played balls to the wall, left everything out there. They hit to hurt. They had opportunities. They looked occasionally dangerous through 4 lines. I think I would be coming at you from a different approach, but that's not the case. The problem with the Canadiens consistently this year has been their starts and the lack of strong starts, the lack of setting the pace in a hockey game, And I think I can look at that through the lens of it's an immature hockey team. They're one of the youngest teams in hockey. How do you exercise your authority when you're the young buck on the block, And the Montreal Canadiens also don't have the horses that could say, oh, yeah, youth, inexperience, it doesn't matter because look how good we are, right? Like the Canadiens have some good players. Nick Suzuki is a good player. Cole Caulfield is a good player. Uri Slafkovsky is going to get there. Lane Hutson's a good player now. Mike Matheson is a good player. You put those 5 guys on the ice, that's a good-looking unit of 5 players. But other than that, right, we're not talking about a generational talent on Martin St. Louis' roster. I don't believe. Maybe the closest thing they have to it is Lane Hutson, but who knows, right? Cole Caulfield's a dynamic goal scorer. He's shown us that so far. But outside of that, when you look at teams like Toronto, you look at teams like Colorado, you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, you look at the structure a lot of these really good to elite teams have, the Montreal Canadiens are still in pursuit of that. And when you're doing all of these things in real time, you're mixing and matching up front, you're mixing and matching on the back end, injuries, below average goaltending, it adds up to where the Canadiens are competitively speaking. Let me ask you this question, and be honest with me. Did you think the Montreal Canadiens in 2024-2025 were going to make the playoffs? Did you believe that? Regardless of the line of thinking of we're in the mix, right? And that's where, perhaps the Canadiens made a big misstep, miscalculation. We can use aggressive words, we can have this aggressive attitude, but how do you go from talking so tough and then playing so not so tough? Let's put it that way. That's the immaturity. That's a team that thought they were going to be in the mix. And then the reality hit them that, being in the mix is a lot harder than we thought. Talk is cheap is the cliche. And so I think what we've learned so far this season is that the Montreal Canadiens are really in it. They are really in the rebuild. I didn't believe this team was going to make the playoffs. So why am I going to get all up in arms? I'm going to get cuckoo bananas over a team that's not winning and losing more than they win. I didn't think they were going to be in the playoffs. But here's another thing I didn't think. I didn't think they were going to be boring. And that is the death knell. That is how you quickly lose goodwill. You lose the vibe that this market was living in with Martin St. Louis, with Gorton, and with Hughes, right? And this new life that was brought in the aftermath of Marc Bergevin's regime coming to an end after almost 10 years. That the "in Hugo we trust" line, I'm not saying is gone, but it's in danger territory. And I don't, because of that, just my opinion, I don't believe that warrants the management staff going out and making some sort of aggressive move, right? Because it's been in the wind now for a while. The Canadiens are looking for a forward with edge. They're looking for a top 4 defenseman, right-handed preferably, while also saying they don't want to mortgage the future. Well, how in the hell is that going to happen? Who's giving up a top 4 right-handed defenseman or a forward with edge to a team that's rebuilding while also not looking for any one of their marquee players in this rebuild? That's not how that works. You don't have your cake and you don't get to eat it too. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. And listen, if Ken Hughes, hypothetically speaking, decided to make a move, like trading, I don't know, David Reinbacher, trading Michael Hayes, Josh Ottawa even, Jacob Fowler, for a top 4 defenseman or a forward with age, to me, under that hypothetical umbrella, that is raining panic days. Because the rebuild is not over. And maybe you thought with Patrick Laine coming in and, the Canadiens got goals, Patrick Laine, explosive top 6 forward. Well, he got hurt. And he's at least another month from returning. And I just, I never got that line of thinking that the Canadiens are 40 goals, penciled Patrick Laine in for 40 goals. It's not so easy. Look at Lane Hutson, for example. As dynamic as Lane Hutson is, it's going to take time for Hudson's defensive partner, for the 3 forwards that are out there when 48 is out there, to know what his habits are. I mean, Lane Hutson has so much maneuverability, it's hard to anticipate. Is he juking and jiving, or is he passing, or is he shooting? I don't know. And you're gonna need a lot of reps for that to get there. And that is also another reminder. And I've said this for a long time. If you listen to the morning show, 6 to 10 on TSN 690, The heart of the rebuild comes in Juraj Slafkovsky, David Reinbacher, Ivan Demidov, and Michael Hage. And if they finish bottom five, that's going to be another fifth. That's going to be a fifth player. That's the heart of the rebuild. That's when we're going to know. And maybe even I'll throw Jacob Fowler in there, who's having an unbelievable start to his Boston College season. You know, we're talking about Michael Hage, I don't know, 2-3 years. Fowler, same thing, 2-3 years. Ivan Demidov's in the KHL. He'll be here next year, I think. And then what? I don't know. So I'm guilty of thinking the Montreal Canadiens were going to finish with more points than they accrued last year at 76. Vegas set the season point total at 76.5 points. I thought they were going to coast over that number. And I thought it was going to be based off of this young defense, the goaltending being better, and the Canadiens were going to get points and guys were going to individually do well, and that clearly hasn't happened yet, you know? And I hate to be like the most simplistic guy here, but show me a good team, I'm going to show you a team with goaltending. Show me a bad team, I'm going to show you a team with suspect goaltending. And the Canadiens have very bad goaltending. You know, and I don't know. I'm guessing at this point, you know, the safety net of Jake Allen gone. Is that a problem? Sam Montembeault wanting to be one of the goalies for Team Canada at the upcoming Four Nations. Is that on him? Trying to establish himself at 28 years old to be a number one goaltender in the National Hockey League. You know, for me at this point, I believe I have seen enough Sam Montembeault hockey at the NHL level with the Montreal Canadiens to believe that Sam Montembeault is just not a number one goaltender. He's a good NHL goaltender. I think he's better than what his numbers have given us. But I don't believe he's a true number one in the sense that you can look on him and say, Sam, I need a 2-1 win tonight. You can't let more than one goal get by you tonight. I need you to really lock it down or go on a run to help a team out. I don't think he's that guy. I think he can be a nice platoon goaltender, but the sample size to me is long enough, big enough. I think I'm educated enough on Sam Montembeault now to believe that, you know, it's barely good enough to get by now goaltending for the Canadiens. You know, with Primo, again, trying to figure out who he is in the NHL, and Sam Montembeault just trying to get better every day and be a better goaltender, be more trustworthy for his teammates, you know? And so, yeah, the Canadiens, you know, their power play is looking a little bit better. Their PK prior to last weekend, where they allowed 4 power play goals against in the 2-game stretch, is better, you know? But again, it's early days. It's 11 games into a new NHL season, and the team, to me, hasn't shown a lot of forward progress. And I'm sorry to say it. I hate to be the guy to tell you this, but this is what being in a rebuild really is like. You know, you want to be in a rebuild. You know, the team after 11 games has pulled the curtain back, and now you see how rebuilds are made. And here we are. You know, I am not panic. I am not thinking the Canadiens need a seismic shift in a coaching change or whatever else. I am not of that opinion. I like Martin St. Louis. I still think he's the man for the job. And I still believe that it really is a steep learning curve, that they're trying to do this hybrid defensive system. They're trying to find winning tandems that they can build around up front, trying to establish Kirby Dach and his identity with the Montreal Canadiens. Like, who is 77? I don't know. Look good on the wing. Is he a center, number 2? Can he be a number 2? Is this the best version of Alex Newhook we're going to see? So there are a lot of questions. And I told you at the beginning of this, I have more questions than I do answers, other than welcome to the reality of a team rebuilding in real time at the NHL level. Immature tendencies, bad habits, and losses, and the occasional bag skate. You know, you're going to be bad. You just can't look loafy. You got to look like you're working hard. And I don't believe the Canadiens, when that number 1 line gets off, and yeah, okay, Evans and Gallagher and Anderson, you know, look good, but their job is easy in terms of the NHL. You know, like, go out there, work hard, don't make mistakes, don't turn it over, and body check. You know, that's the job. Whereas the top 2 line, Kirby Dach, I need you to drive a line. Nick Suzuki, I need you to drive a line, score, produce, assist. Cole Caulfield, keep scoring. Different worlds. And they're learning all at the same time. More wins would be nice, but welcome to what a rebuild Not a retool, not a reset, not a reinvent. Welcome to what a real rebuild looks like. Damn, 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 damn. Week 9 of the National Football League. Jam-packed Sunday for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope your team's doing well. My team, the Chicago Bears, or whatever, who cares. The Jaden Daniels Hail Mary that more or less ended my Bears season. And then followed that up with, I had penciled L for Chicago and Arizona yesterday. So Caleb Williams' lack of accuracy is a concern, especially on the deep ball. And the coaching staff in Chicago also leaves me with a little bit more questions than answers at this point. But we shall see as the Chicago slips to 4-4. Man, they were a failed Hail Murray from a 5-2 start, and probably 5-3. Like I said, I didn't think they were going to beat Kyler Murray and James Conner and Marvin Harrison Jr. in Arizona. Arizona looking good. A little bit of a sleeper team. You see some growth there in Arizona. They're on the come up. Watch out for them in the next season or two. And that takes us to the wrap up to Week 9 of the National Football League. You can listen to it on TSN 690. It's a 4-4 Tampa Bay at 7-0 Kansas City. Yeah, the Bucs without Chris Godwin, without Mike Evans, take on a Kansas City team who boasts a very good defense. And the Chiefs are favored by 9 points tonight. I like Kansas City, and I like them to win by more than 9 points tonight. I just don't see. I can't imagine a world in which Baker Mayfield is going to be able to produce enough points to keep it within 9. I think Kansas City probably gets ahead and then coast from there, and the defense can do a lot of the work. But here are a couple of things I like. Yes, I do like Kansas City -9 tonight. I like Travis Kelce to score a touchdown tonight. He's been targeted 36 times. 36 targets over his last 4 games. He does have just 1 touchdown, though. So Patrick Mahomes is looking a lot at Travis Kelce, and I like Kelce to get a touchdown tonight. Again, he only has 1 touchdown in his last 4 games, so he's been targeted 36. So here's an opportunity for KC at home. Spotlight game. Travis Kelce. I don't know. Is the Eras Tour still going on? Is she like the new Cirque du Soleil? Does this Eras Tour ever stop? I don't know. But I like the Travis Kelce touchdown bet tonight. And on the Tampa Bay side, I like Baker Mayfield to throw for at least 250 yards. Why? Because I do believe the Bucs are going to lose, and they're going to lose by more than 9 points. That's my belief. And when you are trailing football games, you have no choice but to throw the ball up. And the Baker Mayfield prop bet at least 250 yards pays more than 2-1. And you look at what this guy has done over the last few weeks, right? For a Tampa Bay team that's 500 now. Remember, they're the only team to beat Detroit this season. Wild, right? But yeah, no, Baker Mayfield, man, is throwing for like 330, 350, 325 each and every week. So I do like this one, but it's going to be a tough defense to have success on. But we're going to take a shot with Baker at least 250 passing yards tonight. So there you go. Quick recap. I like Kansas City -9. I like Travis Kelce anytime touchdown and Baker Mayfield to throw for at least 250 passing yards in the wrap up to Week 9. The Montreal Canadiens back on Bell Center Ice tomorrow against Calgary. Then on the road for the next couple in New Jersey Thursday, at Toronto on Saturday. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. A big shout out to my friend Frank and the unbelievable staff at Royal Ceramic. Find them online at royalceramic.com. They're in beautiful St. Leonard. Everything you need for your bathroom, kitchen renovation can be done in-house. And that means full installation by the best pros in the business. They have a beautiful showroom in St. Leonard on Pascal Gagnon. You can find them. They're open 6 days a week, pretty much 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. They close at 3 o'clock on Saturdays and then closed on Sundays. But everything you need for your bathroom, kitchen renovation, complete in-house installation. So it's not like you go to a store, buy your tiles, buy your faucet, buy your toilet, and then have to hire a third party to come in and install all of that for you. No, it's hands-on professional service, Montreal people. So you don't have people from your own backyard. And these kitchens, these bathrooms, oh, stunning. Imported from Italy. This stuff is beautiful and priced to fit any budget. High end, low end, in between, and of course, installation, all done with the best pros in the business at Royal Ceramic, royalceramic.com. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my friend Frank and his unbelievable business. I was there, I don't know, a month and a half ago, just looking. You know, I want a smart toilet. That's my new goal. I want a smart toilet. I hear these things are unbelievable, but you got to run electricity. That's why Royal Ceramic, I go to them. I say, listen, Frank, I want a smart toilet. They can come, they can do the installation, run the wiring, the electric, all that stuff. And I'll be smarter. My tuchus will be smarter. We're all going to be smarter together because we take our business to Royal Ceramic for any. You're looking for bathroom, kitchen installation, tile, ceramic, porcelain, you name it, directly imported from Italy, Spain, other parts of the world. But trust me, when and they don't take you to the cleaners either, right? When you look at the price, you're like, oh my God, Mamma Mia, what do I do with this? No, 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 no. It's modest. It's nice. It's nice. And you get what you pay for. Premium at Royal Ceramic, royalceramic.com. All right. So thank you for that, everybody. Welcome back to In the Car with Star. Thank you so much for being with me. And we'll be here. All right. Peace.